Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about mindfulness, meditation, and what they are. This is important to know as it will provide clarity and help you develop your practice. Let's start with a word you've probably heard a lot, mindfulness. It's everywhere these days. Mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful everything. But what does it actually mean? In the simplest terms, mindfulness is the quality of mind that remembers to observe what's happening right now. That's it. It's the thing that notices. It's the quality that says, hey, you were supposed to be paying attention to this, but you drifted off. Here's an example. Have you ever driven somewhere and arrived without remembering the drive? You were technically driving. You stopped at red lights. You turned the wheel. But your mind was somewhere else entirely. You were on autopilot. Mindfulness is the opposite of that. Mindfulness is the moment you wake up and you realize, oh, I'm driving. Or think about eating. Have you ever eaten an entire meal while staring at your phone and barely tasted the food? Then suddenly you look down and the plate's empty? The moment you notice that you haven't been tasting, that noticing is mindfulness. In meditation, mindfulness works the same way. You sit down with a meditation object, and for us, that's the feeling of loving kindness. And then your mind wanders. It always does. Mindfulness is the quality that brings you back. It's the thing that says, oh, wait, I was supposed to be with that feeling of loving kindness, but I've been thinking about work for the last 3 minutes. Here is a definition of mindfulness that I want you to memorize, please. Mindfulness is the act of observing how mind's attention moves from one object to another. This may sound simple, but it will be key in understanding how to meditate as you go through the class. And here's the encouraging part. Every time that happens, every time mindfulness kicks in and you notice that your mind has wandered, that's success. That moment of noticing is the practice working. You're building mindfulness like a muscle. The more you notice, the stronger it gets, and eventually you will catch distractions earlier and earlier before your mind wanders. Let's try a quick experiment right now. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for just 60 seconds and think about an apple. And if you don't see mental images, that's okay. Just think about the general idea of an apple. When your mind wanders, and it will, probably within seconds, just notice that that has occurred. There's no judgment, just notice. So go ahead, pause this video and try this out for yourself. How did that go? If your mind wandered 10 times in 1 minute, that's completely normal. The fact that you noticed it wandering, that's mindfulness. Okay, now we know what mindfulness is. Next, let's talk about meditation. And let me start by telling you what meditation is not, because there are a lot of misconceptions out there. Meditation is not making your mind blank. This is the biggest myth. You are not trying to stop thinking. You cannot stop thinking. Thoughts arise on their own. You don't create them any more than you create the sound you hear or the sensations in your body. Trying to force a blank mind is like trying to stop the wind. It's exhausting and it doesn't work. Meditation is not beating yourself up for getting distracted. If you're sitting there thinking to yourself, dang it, I got distracted again. I'm so bad at this. That's not meditation. That's just self-criticism with your eyes closed. And meditation is not supposed to be tense, serious, or uncomfortable. If you're gritting your teeth, squeezing your eyes shut, and forcing yourself to concentrate, something's off. So, what is meditation? In the simplest terms, meditation is mental development. You're training your mind the same way you train your body at a gym. But instead of lifting weights, you're practicing a specific mental skill. In Tranquil Mind, that skill involves 2 things: a specific object, the feeling of loving kindness, and a specific technique for when your attention moves away from that object. That technique is called the 6 R's, which we'll learn about more later. Think of it like learning to play the piano. You sit down, you play, you make some mistakes. You gently correct, you play some more. Over time, your fingers learn where to go. Meditation works the same way. You sit. You rest your attention on loving kindness. Your mind wanders. You gently bring it back. And over time, your mind learns to settle naturally. And here's the beautiful thing. Meditation should feel good. In Tranquil Mind, we smile. We generate warm, happy feelings. We're kind to ourselves. When done correctly, you should look forward to your meditation, not dread it. If it feels like a chore, something needs to be adjusted. If you've tried other forms of meditation before, or even if you haven't, you might be wondering what makes Tranquil Mind different? Why this method and not another one? Let me explain a few key differences. I'm not going to criticize other practices. Many of them have real value. But Tranquil Mind has some unique features that, in my experience, make it especially effective. First, Tranquil Mind develops both tranquility and insight at the same time. Many meditation traditions separate these into two different practices. You do a calming practice, and then you separately do an insight practice. In Tranquil Mind, they happen together in every session. The tranquility comes from resting in the beautiful feeling of loving kindness. The insight comes from the 6 R's, where you will directly see the cause of suffering and let it go. Every time you relax tension, you're getting both calm and wise. We'll talk more about the 6 R's later in this class. Second, you remain aware of the outside world. In some concentration practices, the goal is to absorb your mind into an object so completely that you lose awareness of everything else. In Tranquil Mind, that's not what we're doing. You hear the birds, you feel the breeze, you know where you are. The awareness stays broad, even as the feeling of loving kindness deepens. Think of it like turning up the volume on loving kindness while the rest of the world stays in the background at normal volume. Third, and this is the big one, the relax step. Most meditation techniques tell you what to do when you're distracted. Come back to the breath, note the distraction, let it go, or just observe. Tranquil Mind adds something revolutionary. Before you return to your object of meditation, you relax. You soften the tension that built up from the distraction. This tension is craving, and by releasing it, you are directly addressing the cause of suffering. No other mainstream meditation technique does this so explicitly that I'm aware of. Fourth, natural progression through the jhanas. In Tranquil Mind, the jhanas, the progressively deeper states of meditation, arise naturally when the conditions are right. You don't force them. You don't try to make them happen. You just practice consistently and they unfold on their own. This is how the Buddha described it in the original teachings. One thing leads naturally to the next, like a mountain stream flowing downhill. Fifth, this practice is based directly on the earliest Buddhist texts, which are known as the Pali Canon. These are the standard, most complete collection of early scriptures that we have access to. Bhante Vimalaramsi went back to the original teachings and reconstructed the meditation practice that the Buddha actually described. This isn't a modern invention, it's a rediscovery, and that's Bhante Vimalaramsi's own words. So, it's important to note here that this isn't my technique or discovery or even that of my teacher. It goes all the way back to the Buddha. He's the real source of everything that we'll be covering in this class.